What's up? I think we're live, boys. How you guys going? What's going on? You guys hear me? See, my mic's working. Good afternoon from Perth. Yeah, how you going, man? I'm surprised how many Australians I have on my subscriber list. I was going through the analytics today. Around 30% of my audience is Australian, which is pretty crazy because you wouldn't expect it. I guess Australians attract Australians. Got a person from the Netherlands. Nice to see you here, man. Hey, tech guy, Reynolds, what's going on? Andy, Orlan, Ricky. Good morning from the UK. Crazy stuff going on in the UK, man. New Zealand. Yeah, I heard the do you guys like the chat on the screen, by the way? I think I'm going to take that off. I heard that the what is it called? The pound is at the lowest valuation against the US dollar that's ever had. Something like that. Something crazy like that. Do you guys like the chat on the screen? Yes or no? Should I take it off? Let me know. Should I take the chat off or no? Canberra, Brisbane, another one from the Netherlands. Yeah, right. Lots of Dutch people into crypto. I'm actually part Dutch by blood. Take away. All right, I'll take it off. It gets in the way, doesn't it? Hold on 1 second. All right, it should be gone. All right, got quite a bit to talk about today, guys. Yeah, everyone wants to take it off, sure. Yeah, quite a bit to talk about today. I might jump into it in a second. I'll go through the list of things we've got going on. Obviously, I'm going to be starting doing, as you guys would know already. Oh, and by the way, just before I get into that, VIP's gone. I don't know if you guys have seen that video that I posted on the channel today, but the VIP membership is gone. There's no more VIP, and so everything's free now, I guess you could say. There's no paywall, so everything's free. Trading signals are free. It's all free. So that's good news to a lot of people. I know that. And so just keep up with the regular channel and all the videos will be posted on there. I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. Obviously, I did one yesterday, doing one today. The reason why I'm doing this is because I find it easier. If I do a live stream, for example, and then I make videos within the live stream, and then after the live stream, I cut up the clips from the live stream and post them to the channel. It's a lot easier than just doing videos, and it's more interactive as well. Lalo, can you do TA on GTC? Looking to short. Yeah, man. All right, so I'm going to add that to the list. I'm going to get into Bitcoin first and foremost, but I'll be sure to get back to that for you after I do Bitcoin. Going to make the Bitcoin video for about 15 minutes, and then I'll get back to you about that. So I'll add it to the list. Hold on 1 second. Let me just add it in. GTC for Lalo. Another one from the Netherlands. 3 people from the Netherlands. It's crazy. Why did you make everything free? Isn't that going to upset the people that previously paid? No, it won't, because they're getting refunds. So all the payments that they made for this month will be refunded within 12 business days. In fact, it will probably make them happy because they won't be paying anymore. So all good. All right, guys, I might jump into the Bitcoin analysis. Just wait for a couple more questions before we get into that. So obviously Bitcoin has moved down a little bit, and that's why I want to get into it. All right, let's get into it. All right, so starting off here. Let me just go over my charts quickly, see what I got here. All right, so I wanted to talk about Bitcoin, and the reason why I wanted to talk about Bitcoin mainly was because we had that move yesterday, and this is a move that we discussed in the live stream itself. Let me bring up my actual buying plan chart, and you can see what we did, and this is kind of according to what we said in the live stream exactly yesterday. We said we'd come up to this downtrending yellow line, that's stemming from November. That, of course, in my opinion, would be a breakout point, and would partially confirm a trend reversal. I think the full trend reversal would be confirmed at 28.6k, but this would partially confirm a trend reversal. We said yesterday, halfway through the pump, we're probably going to come up and retest it. We did. We came up and retested. In fact, we undershot it a little bit. We were a few hundred USD away from it, but ultimately, if you're looking at that chart, that's basically a retest. That clarifies as a I guess that qualifies as a retest. And in fact, we actually saw a pretty bearish candle formation form because of that. We saw a massive, almost like a shooting star formation. It's not quite a shooting star, but it almost was like a long wick to the upside and pushed way back down very quickly and ended up closing basically where we started, which is a bearish formation. And what does this indicate? Well, it indicates that we're probably going to be retesting 17.5k. It's no surprise. Everyone thinks that. And this is something that I've made very clear. And it's something that no one really thinks won't happen. Even the bulls, even people who are bullish right now, kind of universally agree that in order to be super bullish, we have to be retesting for a double bottom. And if we go to previous cycles, what's happened previously for Bitcoin, and this is a good chart example, what do we see for Bitcoin previously? Well, if we go to the 2-week chart, we'll get a pretty decent perspective here. We generally see in bear markets, we see one swoop down to the low, consolidation, and then we retest it, and then we start going up. Same thing in 2018, one swoop down to the low, consolidation, we almost retest in 2018, start going up, and the same thing could be happening right here. So generally speaking, when we see these macro lows, we do see double bottom formations. That's no surprise. And so I think regardless, even if you think the bottom is in, you should be thinking there's going to be a 17.5k, 17.6k retest. And it wouldn't surprise me at all that, if that holds, it wouldn't really surprise me too much, but I would expect some sort of irrational wick to the downside if it was to hold. So for example, if we go there, we might close above it, but we might see a wick downwards, a sharp wick down to 16,500, something like that, something weird like that. So don't expect it to hold on a shorter time frame, but longer time frame, decent chance, man. There's a decent chance. And I've been very open as well about the exact price point. I see, Reynold, you put a super chat in there, man. I'll get back to you in a second there. But I've been very, very open about it. And my whole entire prediction for months and months and months has been date range. And that's no surprise to you guys. It's been a date range thing. I'm very much a believer in an October to November bottom. As to where it is, doesn't really bother me too much. And my buying plan kind of reflects that. My buying plan, as you can see here, 33% at 17.5k to 18k, which could be happening very shortly, by the way, within the next 24 hours, could be happening, we'll see. And then 33% at 11.5k to 13.8k. Again, so that's kind of giving you a bit of an understanding that I wouldn't be surprised if we go down there. And then 67% at the breakout of the yellow line. So, it's not exactly the price point itself that concerns me. It's the date range. And I think it's getting really interesting now in general with the whole market. And one of the reasons it's getting interesting is because the S&P 500 is doing something very interesting. Okay, it's coming way back down. It's come way back down, all the way down to the low it found in June, and it's retesting that low right now. In fact, we've dropped below the low a little bit. We're actually losing the low, and we're in the process of putting in a lower low on the S&P 500, which is a bad sign, okay, for the markets. It's not a good sign. Now, we do have the 200-week SMA there for the S&P 500. That's the 200-week SMA, that green line there. And if we zoom out and we go back, we can see that's acted as support on a few occasions. So we could very well, actually at multiple occasions, so we could very well bounce off of the 200-week SMA, in which case us losing this low from June wouldn't be a massive deal because we just get caught quite soon. But if we lose that 200, we can expect the S&P to flow downwards towards 3,400, which of course is the level we held before or rejected from before the COVID drop. That's where we can expect the S&P to go. Now, I wouldn't be getting overly concerned about the S&P, and the reason being is because, look, Bitcoin and the S&P, they're connected, but the S&P doesn't control Bitcoin. Okay, it's the macro that controls Bitcoin. They're both connected to the macro, right? I've said this before, I'll say it again. Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are not connected to each other. They are both connected to the macro. That means there is a certain amount of deviation you're going to get between the S&P and Bitcoin. And a deviation, for example, that we've seen like that in the past is the fact that Bitcoin topped out in November while the S&P 500 topped out in January. And by the time the S&P 500 topped out, Bitcoin was already down 40%. Okay, so we realistically could bottom on Bitcoin while the S&P is dropping. It wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility. So just because the S&P is dropping and just because the S&P is losing its low doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin needs to go to 10K. All right, it's really worth considering that, really worth noticing that. And one thing as well that's worth noticing about the S&P is the fact that, yeah, it's kind of losing support, but it is on support for the most part. So this is technically a bounce zone. And when you're looking at the DXY, and you're seeing the fact that the DXY is at resistance. In fact, the DXY is at strong resistance as well, while the S&P 500 is at support. This technically, at this point in time, and this could be invalidated very soon, technically speaking, this is a bounce zone. So it's not overly bearish yet. I think it's a little too early to call it a super bearish yet. This is technically still a bounce zone, which is interesting because a lot of people would disagree with that and they'd just kind of get angry. But the point is that that's what it is, right? We're on support on the S&P. We're at resistance at the DXY. That's what leads to bounces, generally speaking. Now, obviously, that could change, and we'll see in the next 24 hours. But that's just what it is at the moment. And another thing as well that I'd like to say is that, not only is the S&P on support, I'm not trying to sound bullish here because I'm really not. I do think Bitcoin will go down further. I'm just looking at this objectively and observing what's going on. Ethereum's on support as well. Ethereum's on its 200-week SMA, which is, of course, a major indicator. Ethereum's about to see a bullish MACD cross. It's on support. It's on strong support, actually. It's from support that stemmed from June. And then on top of that as well, the total cryptocurrency market cap is not on support, but it is in a bullish structure. It's in a descending channel formation. So it's not all bad, guys. It's not all bad. And lots of people, they just see the negatives when you're in a bear market in the same way that everyone just sees the positives in a bull market. I don't think it's all bad. I think, Bitcoin will go down further. I think it will go down to this 300-week SMA, this blue line, and that's 17.5K, of course. I think it definitely will retest that level, and that we've got our buying plan accordingly there, so we will be buying when that does happen. But, I don't see a sub 10K Bitcoin scenario. I just don't see the evidence for it. It's not something that I see as particularly likely. I really don't think the evidence stacks up for it. I think a lot of that is based off the fact when people say sub 10K Bitcoin, the only thing they're really pointing to is the macro and the traditional markets. And it's like, well, we've already established that the traditional markets and Bitcoin don't act perfectly together. And we already established that even in the bull market top that we just had, last year, they didn't act perfectly together. So who's to say they're going to act together in the bottom, And again, this is another thing that I've been seeing a lot on YouTube and Twitter. People are saying things like, this whole structure here is one big inverted cup formation. And it's like, well, yeah, it could be that you're not wrong. It could be. And if we break down from it, cool, that's active. But it also could just be a big W formation. It also could just be a massive double bottom. Like, where that doesn't, just because you say something, it doesn't make it true. Like, you have to remain objective. At this point in time, we have no confirmation of what this structure is. It could be an inverted cup. It could also be a double bottom. And we have no confirmation of really anything. The S&P, S&P is not looking good, but it hasn't lost its low yet. In fact, it's kind of, it's struggling to break below it. It hasn't lost it yet. And the DXY is at strong resistance. So let's just take a step back. Understand, we will see that double bottom of Bitcoin. It is coming. Pretty much, 90% chance it's going to happen. But as of right now, it's not like the market's going to crash and burn and we're not going to know anything. We're going to wake up one morning, we're down 50%. It's not that bearish, right? So let's just be clear there. But anyway, I think that's kind of the Bitcoin analysis. That's kind of what I had and what I wanted to say. I do have a few more things I want to talk about later in the live stream. And one of those things is, of course, the Crypto Crew. Crypto Crew made a prediction regarding Bitcoin, and you guys would know it already. He measures out what each move is, and he divides it by 5.3 each time. We'll get into that later in the video. I will be watching a Crypto Crew video at some point in this live stream, reacting to it, because there's a new video that came out that a few people wanted me to react to, so I'll do that as well. But that's the Bitcoin analysis. And so without further ado then, I'll answer some of you guys' questions in a second, but I did have a super chat from Laylo, and he wanted me to look into GTC. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to see what GTC... I don't even know what GTC is, to be honest with you. Let's check it out. Gitcoin. Yeah, so just know, man. Just know that I actually don't know what this coin is. So fundamentally speaking, I'm not going to be able to give you any kind of insight on what it is exactly. I'm assuming you want me to look at it on the Binance chart. I'll try my best to kind of look at some levels that I find interesting here on GTC. Again, this is the first time I'm looking at the coin. Now, immediately what I'm seeing on GTC is a speculative downtrending line. And what I mean by that is this. I'm seeing this peak here in February through to this peak here in April. And if we extend that line back, you're automatically seeing that it actually does kind of line up with the previous support retest. Okay. So stemming from that January period through to that period there in February through to that period in April, that's going to be a speculative line. And if we do come back up and test that, I would expect a rejection off of it. And look, why do I say that? Well, I say that because we're in a bear market. But realistically, It's not something that we can just look at and be like, oh yeah, expect a rejection off of it in the first 5 seconds. Look at the chart. I'll take that back. But what I can say is that that is a major line, and we will come up and we will retest it, and most likely it will be a rejection or a sharp move. And you could actually base a trading signal just off that alone, right? If we break that line, that's a long position. Reject off of that's a short. Now, obviously, you need a bit more analysis than that, but that's the basis of it. So that's just immediately my first thing I noticed about looking at this chart. Now, if I was to look at something like the volume profile, because it looks a bit messy, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't look very clean. But, if I'm looking at, and the reason why I say that is because when you're identifying support and resistance, you want it to be as neat as possible. And this, just off the bat, doesn't look very clean. So we need to bring up something like the volume profile to try and get a better indication of what's going on here. And we can see already, there's a massive gap in the volume profile here. So between the price points of around, $3.38 and around $5, there's a huge gap. And what does that mean? It means that if we do cross that level at $3.38, and we'll actually put a line here, it's actually more down at $3.24-ish. If we do cross that level, we will move very quickly and very rapidly up to around $5, and coincidentally, up to that downtrending yellow line. So that's an interesting thing. So go to your chart, and I draw in a rectangle. This is what I do when there's a sharp thing on the volume profile, sharp dip. You draw a rectangle, and you say, okay, that's an area where there's very low historical trading volume, and that's an area we'll most likely, slice through very quickly if we do come up to retest it. So that's what I'll say about it. As for a downside support level, yeah, look, there's just not really anything clean there. As you can see, there's not really anything that's clear cut. I mean, if I had to pick a level, there's 3 retests in that wick there at $1.58. That's probably what I'd pick. And if you drop below that on a daily candle, $1.58, it's very bad. That's where you'd be shorting. Okay, so if we drop a daily candle below $1.58, that would be a short position in my opinion, because I've never done that before, so it'd be a lower low. And then you could, do your take profits for that by adding in a moving average like the 21 EMA, something like that. But yeah, that's what I'd say about GTC. As of right now, you said you wanted to look for a short position for it. Yeah, like $1.58 looks pretty good, or you could wait for a retest of that yellow line. But yeah. All right, let's get into... we had another super chat from Reynolds. Much love. Watch your videos daily and like this live setup. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, man. Bro, look at Quant. It's 250% up from the bottom and just won't stop pumping. Quant is QNT, I think. Yeah, QNT. Yeah, right. Yeah, this was an old VIP signal, as you can see. Cheeky little short setup there. It's pretty outdated chart, though. I'm going to delete everything. Yeah, Quant doesn't look too bad, man. I mean, look, you've missed the move entirely. And I wouldn't be entering it now. Yeah, there's nothing I can say about that. You've missed the move, but it realistically, it had a great pattern. Nice, perfect little cup formation there, straight into a inverted shoulder. It honestly looks like a cup and handle to a certain extent. It looks pretty good. Lots of single prints on that big move down. Bro, can you please do dot? Can you look at Rune? What do you think of a TNX chart? Yeah, so as you can see, guys, I'm getting lots of altcoin recommendations. I will look at them at the end of the video, but if you want one urgently analysed, just leave a super chat so I can get priority on them, because I do have a few things I want to get through, and obviously I can't look at every single altcoin, but I will choose out a few, and I'll prioritise the ones that are super chatted. I DCA Bitcoin, I'm only down 30 to 40%. 30 to 40% is a lot, man. It's a lot. 30 to 40%, so your average price is what, like... Average price is like 26k. It's a good average price, but, this is what I mean about DCAing. It's deadly. DCAing really is deadly. And people all over the crypto space, they encourage it like mad. And especially during a bull market, they encourage it. I know so many people who are in my VIP membership. I know so many people who join the Crypto Academy that have average prices of Bitcoin like 48k because they listen to bloody Moonboy Carl telling them to DCA at 60k. It's like, DCAing's good, it's okay, but you need to be strategic with it. You need to be DCAing at the appropriate levels. You can't just be blind DCAing. That's a very bad strategy. Like, that whole, buy Bitcoin every week, set and forget, that's stupid, man. It's dumb. Learn TA. Get a basic understanding. You don't have to learn how to trade. Just get a basic understanding of TA, how much Bitcoin goes down in bear markets, what the 4-year cycle is, and you'll get a better understanding than just buying every week. How long do you guys think Ethereum will go down in this bear market? How low do you think it will go down in the bear market? Depends on Bitcoin, man. It's all driven by Bitcoin. Hey Wolf, what do you think about XRP? I don't have any thoughts about XRP fundamentally, but we can look into the TA for XRP. I'll choose XRP. That's one I'll choose for TA because a lot of people do like XRP. So yeah, well, there you go. I mean, that's just, this is stuff that I don't actually have like a recollection of charting this kind of thing. It just goes to show market patterns are so powerful. People love to overcomplicate TA. It really just is market patterns and horizontal levels. They're so powerful, and that's my thoughts on XRP. I mean, it already moved, so there's nothing to say about it, really. I mean, I wouldn't be touching that with a 50-meter pole. If there's a coin that actually looks good, I'll chart it out, but XRP, it's done. Moonboy Carl should be arrested. Yeah, man. He's been doing heaps of like Andrew Tate type videos on YouTube. Like he thinks he's like the top G in like Dubai in his Bugatti. It's hilarious. All right, I think we'll get into the next topic. I wanted to talk about a couple of trading signals. Okay, so I have a couple of trading signals here that I want to outline to you guys. And this should kind of... I saw someone want me to analyze the link, and I'm actually got a trading signal here for the link ready to go. So this is something I want to talk about here. So let's get into it. Link trading signal, guys. Go to your trading view charts if you're interested. And you can analyze this with me and get it all charted up. And when it breaks out, hopefully we can get a nice trade on there. So this is Link, chain link. We're on the daily chart like usual. The daily chart is a chart I predominantly use when analyzing a coin for the first time. And when analyzing a trading signal itself, I like the daily chart because it's a good mix between short-term and long-term. Now I do use small time frame charts occasionally, but whenever the daily chart fits, I do use it because it's preferable. So this is Link. So what we have on Link, first and foremost, my color codes mean something. The yellow lines are the breakout lines, and the red lines are the take profit lines. Okay, so what we have on Link first and foremost is a downtrending speculative line, which is why it's dotted, or dashed, I should say, from February 8th through to the wick here on the 4th of April. I'm extending that across, and that will be a take profit zone if we do reach it. And then I also have a speculative dashed red line stemming from the top, the peak in June 2019, through to the peak there in March 2020. And it cuts through quite nicely on the recent price action, as you can see by the candle closes. And I'm just extending that through all the way through the current price action. Make sure it lines up with the candle closes here in June 2022. So we have those two speculative lines, those two dashed lines, they're diagonal lines, and then we also have three horizontal lines, one of which is at $10.67, which is the top of the range, one of which is at $4.82, and one of which is at $5.29. And then we also have the current, it's almost like a symmetrical triangle formation, to be honest with you, and it's more like an ascending triangle, but it's not quite, so we're just going to call it a triangle for the sake of the video. And that's with the stemming from the wick here on June 8th through to the wick there on August 12th. And then the bottom side wick is, the bottom side line is very straightforward. We're just cutting diagonally through all these wicks. And you can see it lines up perfectly. So zoom out and you should have exactly what I have on the screen here. Now, the reason why I've chosen Link for a potential trade setup is because there are not many relevant lines other than the lines that I've chosen here that are going to massively dictate the price action. For example, the Bollinger Bands, they're not even part of this at all. But the bull market support band is already down at the current price. So that's good because it means that if we do break out of a triangle and the trade is entered, we would already be above most of the major moving average resistance. And if we do break down, we would already be below most of the moving average major resistance. So you can see how that simplifies everything. Now, what I want to say is this. If we break out of this triangle to the upside, we would enter a long position. Now, a long position and a short position are interchangeable. That's important to remember. You'd enter the position. Since the top line of a triangle is horizontal, it means you could set your stop loss just below that triangle and you don't have to move it. So that minimizes your risk. So about 0.5% below. And your first take profit would be $10.67. And your second take profit would be the dashed downtrending red line. Now, for the short position, it's very similar. We break down from a triangle. You'd enter the short position. You'd take profits at either 3 of these dashed lines, depending on your risk tolerance, depending on how bearish the market is. There's lots of depending factors, but if you don't want to take profits straight away at the first target, one way you could play it is you could incrementally, for example, for the long position, you could incrementally move your stop loss up. So you don't have to sell, but if we come down a little bit, your sell gets triggered and you don't have to exit the trade straight away. That means you're opening yourself up to the most possible gain you can get, but you're also minimizing your risk by raising that stop loss up incrementally. So that's for trade signal. It's very simple. Very simple stuff. That's the link signal, and they'll be posted to the channel later today. And then we also do have... Are we muted? Is my mic... guys, L stream. Let's see if I can fix this up. What's going on here? Hold on one second. Cam's frozen. Yeah, I'll fix it up. Hold on one second. Gonna delete the webcam. I'll bring it back. All right, web is free. We good? We're back? We saved it? Are we back? Let's see. Back in business? I think we're good. Is the matrix attacking? Let me know if we're good. I think we are. Alright, we're good to go. Hey man, look, I shouldn't have made that central bank digital currency video, man. Shouldn't have made it. But I think we got the rest of that signaling correct. I think I'll just go over it briefly again because I think you might have missed a lot of it. I'll just go over the actual trade signal itself one more time. We've got all the lines in. I'll just go over one more time just so I can make it easier when I'm clipping this up as well. So essentially, once you've got all the lines there, you want to enter the trade as follows. If we break above the triangle, you set your stop loss just below, you'd enter on the breakout, and you take profits at either one of these red lines. If we break below the triangle, you'd enter a short position, you'd set your stop loss just above the triangle, and you take profits at either 3 of these red lines. If you don't want to exit all at one trade, like if you don't want to exit all at one target, you can move your stop loss up incrementally as we take targets. That's essentially the trade signal, guys. So that's link. Very straightforward stuff. And that's what you want. You want to keep it simple. As I said before, you want to keep it simple. Not financial advice. That's right. ZZ puppy. Not financial advice. All right, and I do have one more trading signal as well. I do have one for... so if you guys have got that ready to go, that will be posted to the YouTube channel shortly after this live stream is finished. And then I have one for XEM as well. I want to do two trading signals per live stream because I know that not everyone uses them, right? Not everyone uses them. I understand that completely, but I do think they're very important. I understand that the small percentage of people who do use them make a lot of money. So it's very important to have them. I know all the VIPs definitely signed up for it, all 200 of them. So there is a market for it. But I want to talk about XEM as well. And this is another trading signal I want to do. Now, XEM is a little bit more complicated in the structure itself, but ultimately it's still remaining pretty simple and to the point, which is great. That's what you want. All right, so XEM, there's quite a few more lines to draw. Again, red lines represent take profit, yellow lines represent entry. So we've got a massive, and this is a very important one. This is probably the most critical line on XEM, the second most critical line. Downtrending dashed red lines stemming from the wicks in December all the way through to the wicks in March and extending it across. That is a take profit zone. And then you're drawing in the 5 horizontal red lines, okay? You've got one at 8.4 cents. You've got one at 7.8 cents. You've got one at 5.1 cents, which is a very strong weekly candle resistance. So you can look at the weekly chart if you like that, or if you're interested in that. And then we've got at 3.4 cents and 2.9 cents. Again, that's 8.4, 7.8, 5.1, 3.4, and 2.9. And then, of course, we have the yellow lines, which are the breakout lines, and this forms a large a large symmetrical triangle formation. In fact, it's more like a bear flag formation. And that is stemming, this top yellow line is stemming from the wick here on the 20th of July, 2021, through to the wicks in January and February this year, and then through and across all of these recent wicks from May, from June and July, and then from August as well. And then the bottom line for that is very simple. The bottom line for the triangle is stemming from the wicks in June, all the way through to the wicks we've had in the last few days. And you can see we very clearly have a very interesting triangular formation and lots of potential support resistance zones that can be utilized for take profit zones. Okay, so knowing that, it's very similar to the chain link chart. Knowing that there's not really anything in between us and the take profit zones. For example, looking at the bull market support band again, it's great. It's great to see. That is within the triangle. Again, that means that if we break the bull market support band, if we break the triangle, we are inherently above the bull market support band already, and we're ready to shift upwards. Whereas if we break below the triangle, we are inherently below the bull market support band still, and we're ready to shift downwards. It makes it very simple for us. And if we brought up the RSI, we can get a few things there, but ultimately the trading signal remains the same. The main point of a trading signal is this, just like Chainlink, exactly the same really. Enter on a break to the upside, right? Stop loss will be set below the weekly candle chart line that I will make pink. That's an important line. Below that line for the long position, that'll make pink. So enter on the breakout of a triangle, stop loss just below 5.1 cents, and you take profits at any one of these red lines, whether you reach for diagonal first, whether you reach 7.8 cents first, or whether you reach 8.4 cents first. And obviously that depends on your risk tolerance as well. And the short position is very simple. In fact, the short position is a lot easier, and we hope it plays out because short positions in a bear market, generally you're trading with a trend, so it's great to see. You want to see that happen. The short position is breakdown from a triangle, enter on the breakdown, stop loss just above, take profits at any one of these red lines. Very simple stuff. So that's the XEM signal. So we have a link, which we did 5 minutes ago, and we have XEM. Those are the two trades for this live stream, guys. What's going on in chat? Let's see. Make a Rumble page. I should make a Rumble page. I really should. The only thing about Rumble that annoys me is that you have to, it's just extra work when it comes to uploading. Going on a different platform, re-uploading all the content. Realistically, no one's really going to watch it unless I get banned. Like, I already have a Telegram group. So Telegram's separate. Telegram's relatively decentralized. I don't think they ban you from Telegram very often. Now, if you guys aren't in that group, you know, I made that, well, it's been around for a long time, but I made it available to the public today. So you can go, as you can see, if you go to the description of this live stream, you can click on the link and join the WOC Telegram community. It's going to be very active. We've got 393 people in there now, and we just discuss charts, discuss trades. Go ahead and do that. But that's kind of my backup plan. I don't think I'll get banned. I think I just gotta remain chill and not talk about too much controversial stuff, and I'll be good to go. Guys, like the live stream, get some likes in there. Helps out the algorithm so people see it more. That'll be great. Frozen again? I don't think so, man. What are your thoughts on Solana? I'll check out the Solana chart. See what we got going on for Solana. It looks like this is probably a trade that we had for VIP, potentially. No, it wasn't. It was before, but not right now. So yeah, Solana, lots of lines here. If you're interested, go ahead and pause the screen right now, and you can draw up the lines. I have them. And obviously that downtrending yellow line, if we break that to the upside, again, those targets there at those red lines are very simple. So that's Solana. I've already charted all that out. And that's the structure I've got for it there. So pause the screen if you're interested in that. Mark said, if you don't mind sharing, why did you remove the payment system? Why did you remove the VIP, I assume? I removed the VIP for various reasons. Now, one of the reasons is this. I don't really need the money. I've got enough money. And the money that I was making for it was relatively like almost chump change in comparison to my income. So it's kind of like, well, why am I charging people? Now, that's one of the reasons. I'm not going to go ahead and say that's the main reason because everyone loves money. I'd like to have more money as well. But the main reason as well is that I think it would be beneficial to the channel. Because if I open up the VIP, right, if I open up for free members, I post all of the VIP content to my channel for free. I'm getting more views on my channel overall, most likely, right? More interest in the channel, and that perpetuates channel growth. So not only is it making it better for people, right? It might give me a short, like a small negative hit in finances, but long term, the extra content for the channel growth is going to be beneficial. That's my thought process around it. So I may as well make it free. You know, like, again, my income will definitely go down, at least briefly. But, you know, I think for the actual health of Wolves of Crypto as a channel as a whole, that's probably a hit that's worth taking, especially considering I'm not broke. So it's not like I need the money. Lalo donated again, $2. Thanks, man. What do you think is the most overvalued cryptocurrency? It's a tough question. It's a tough question because there's not a bull market anymore. So everything that's kind of overvalued has gone down. What do I think is the most overvalued cryptocurrency? I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. Most overvalued cryptocurrency. As of right now, I mean, I don't know, man. I genuinely don't have an answer to that. I'm thinking. Anything that pumps like this out of nowhere up to 200% in 2 days is pretty damn overvalued in my opinion. You know, for example, QNT, Quant, when you see these mega pumps, and I know this doesn't really answer your question, but it is a vague answer. When you see these mega pumps out of nowhere where nothing really has happened fundamentally, that's overvalued and you know that's going to come back down. Now, in terms of actual long-term price or whatever, what's overvalued? I don't know, because what really is a long-term asset in crypto? There's not really much. The only long-term assets really are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So there's like altcoins, they go in and out of overvaluation, undervaluation, like daily. So, not daily, but, you know, monthly, whatever. You know, so I don't know if something's necessarily particularly overvalued. I don't know. I can't answer it. Any meme coin that doesn't have fundamentals. Ape coin's a good example. Any coin that is just purely based on marketability. For example, any coin that is based on hype. Any coin that is based on something that isn't actually a use case. For example, Bitcoin's got a use case, right? It's an international, they say store of value. I mean, if you agree with that, it's cheap. People get the money in 2 minutes. That's the use case, right? What's the use case of Dogecoin? Nothing. So it can be hugely valued in the market. The market cap can be huge. What I will say, and this is a thing that I'll answer, any NFT project is generally speaking extremely overvalued. Any crypto game, like gamified cryptocurrency, like they make what is called metaverse games and stuff like that. That's all overvalued as well. There was a coin that was very similar to the game Minecraft, and it was like, I can't remember the exact stuff of it, but it was in May this year. If you want to Google it, you can. It was like a crypto Minecraft, and it was valued like 5 times higher in terms of dollars than the actual Minecraft game was, but it had like something like 2,000 less players, 2,000x less players, something ridiculous like that. Like it had like 200 people playing it, but like so many people bought into it because they thought it looked good, but no one actually played the game, and it was valued like 5 times higher than Minecraft, which is like one of the most popular games of all time. So any project like that, NFT projects, gamified projects, they all tend to be extremely overvalued because no one actually interacts within the marketplace, no one actually plays them, but investors just look at it and they're like, wow, this looks good, but they don't actually have an interest in playing. So since no one plays it, the value's not actually there. It's just a house of cards. So anything like that, I'd say. Like Sand, Mana, all those coins got extremely overvalued. I wonder how they're doing, actually. I haven't looked at them. They got extremely overvalued during the bull market because, you know, it's just a pump. Like, you can't tell me that on Sand, for example, I remember people were shilling this so hard. You can't tell me that this coin, the fair value of this coin in like a 3-week period was actually 10xable. What happened in that 3-week period? What happened? Nothing, really. It was the same project. It was just hype. And obviously House of Cards came crashing down, and it's back to the same levels it was at before the pump. That's how it goes, man. What is this thing on my screen here? So yeah, beware of projects like that. NFT projects are notoriously a way to lose money if you don't understand them. Investing in NFTs themselves, again, you're going to lose money if you don't understand it. Even if you understand it, you're taking a massive risk because it's not really even trading, isn't it? I don't know though. I don't want to judge it. I know a lot of people that made a lot of money on NFTs, but I know that a lot of them just kind of gambled. They got lucky. I know someone who got into what's it called? Apes, the Bored Ape thing. Look, NFTs is a completely different space. It's not even crypto. Like, I don't know anything about it. It's not even cryptocurrency. It's completely separate. Like, my TA knowledge has nothing to do with the NFT marketplace. So if anyone knows about it, feel free to talk about it in the Wolves of Crypto discussion group. I'm interested to learn, man. Because I do wonder if it's just a bubble. Like, I do wonder if NFTs will just go away. You know, I do wonder that. I don't know anything about them. What do we got here? BTC looks like it's breaking down right now. Let's take a look. And the S&P is breaking down as well, right? Look at that. Breaking down from support, heading straight towards the 200-week SMA on the S&P 500, straight towards 3,500 there. I think it will get there. I think it will get there very soon. Let's look at Bitcoin. Yeah, man, breaking down a little bit. Hasn't really lost support yet. But if you look at the daily chart, look at the daily chart, you can see that was going to happen. It was going to. I could have told you this morning. I wasn't live this morning, but like when you see a daily candle like that coming up, almost rejecting from resistance, long wick to the upside, closes red, you know something's going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to those levels, 17.5k, 17.6k, 18k within the next 24, 48 hours. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised. What do you think will be the next big thing in crypto, like Metaverse, this bull run, for example? Hard to say, man. I don't know, because it will be brand new. That's the thing. It will be brand new. It won't exist right. It probably won't exist right now. Like, you know, NFTs, they I don't even think NFTs existed until like 2020, right? Brand new. It's all new stuff. But I think definitely Metaverse, definitely gamified tokens, all that stuff. It will be a massive boom because people love that. It's so easily marketable, right? I know that, you know, for example, we could see supply chain kind of stuff. I know a Chainlink is pretty good at that kind of stuff. Coins like Chainlink coming out, you know, perhaps, you know, tech companies have been developing supply chain technology because obviously COVID and all that stuff kind of threw a spanner in the works for supply chains. Maybe people have made developments in that area. Hard to say. Ask me in 2 years when the halving happens. And that's another thing as well. I don't think people should get overly stressed about fundamentals, especially in altcoin projects. And this is a mistake that I've made in the past personally. Altcoin projects, the fundamentals don't really matter. As long as the fundamentals are there, as long as it has a use case, it doesn't go much further than that. It's all marketing, man. It's all marketing. You see that with Dogecoin. I know I just trashed Dogecoin, but the fact of the matter is, trash it all you want. It made people money. Why did it make people money? They identified that it was the perfect marketable coin. Sometimes the thing that pumps is not rational. And that's exactly what happens in crypto. Exactly what happens in crypto. So get rid of the mindset that a coin needs to have great fundamentals for it to pump. It's simply not true. It needs to be marketable. What makes it attractive to people, you know? It's like Coca-Cola, you know? It's like Coke. You know, objectively speaking, Coca-Cola is probably not the best soda. That's just the truth, right? It's probably not. I mean, and if you ask people on a very broad basis, and for example, maybe they'd never tried Coke before, they never tried any, they were just tasting, it's probably not the best one. Maybe it is, I don't know. But the point is, the reason why Coke is so successful is because of marketing. It was the first one. It's just like Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin successful? Great fundamentals, great use case, but also it's the first crypto. It's the face of crypto. Coca-Cola in the same way is the face of soda, right? It doesn't matter what the product is anymore because it's got such a firm foothold in that industry that it's unkillable. It's unbeatable. And that's very similar to Bitcoin. Bro, BTC is dumping. Yeah, man. It kind of is. Not really. I mean, like, nothing too significant. But again, yeah, I think it will be retesting those lows very soon. I think you should get your orders ready. Yeah, as per the buying plan. I'm sticking to the buying plan. Raoul Powell was saying, whatever his name is, these days Solana will be the Ethereum of the next bull run. How would you confirm Ethereum and Solana to someone who is not an expert? I don't know, man. You're gonna have to ask someone else. Fundamentals aren't my forte, I suppose. Don't really care too much about fundamentals. It's not something that overly concerns me. The only time I care about fundamentals really is a bull market, because that's the only time where it's slightly relevant. In a bear market, it doesn't matter. You know, TA is what matters in a bear market. I know that there's so many Solana maxis out there though, so you can go find any video on YouTube that would explain it for you. But again, I think it's risky. I think it's risky stuff because you don't want to fall in love with a coin, and the best way to not fall in love with a coin is to try and know it at a base level and don't look too deep into it. It sounds ridiculous, but I genuinely think it's true. I learned my lesson the hard way in 2018. Falling in love with altcoins is a bad game. I think altcoins are primarily for trading. I don't think they're good investments, generally speaking. There's a very small period of time in the bull market where they are, but other than that, I think generally speaking, trade the charts. That's just me. Wolf, if Bitcoin in this bear market breaks 9K and dumps to 5 to 7K, would you still buy it, or would you think something is wrong with fundamentals? It would depend entirely on the circumstances, but generally speaking, I think if Bitcoin went below 9K, I'd be very, very worried. I'd be very concerned. That would be extremely worrying. It would completely damage the structure, especially if it happens like late next year or something like that, or mid next year, in which case it completely invalidates the 4-year cycle theory as well. Dangerous stuff. I would not like to see that happen. I would definitely have some sort of stop loss in place of that buying plan that I will identify at some point. I need to look into that a bit more. There will definitely be a point where I throw in the towel and say, okay, I'm not in for this anymore. And again, guys, you know, it's not like my entire net worth is going into this buying plan. It's a percentage of my portfolio that I've allocated to long-term buys. So don't go too hard, you know, like go with what you're comfortable going in. You know, this isn't my entire trading portfolio. This is just a percentage that I've allocated for long-term buys. Do you ever think that sentimental data, small example, do you ever look at sentimental data? Sentimental data? Binance Futures funding history data shows not 75% long on BTC, which is pretty high. Oh, okay. Too many people trying to long the bottom. Yeah, I do occasionally. It is something that I think does overcomplicate things a little bit, but generally speaking, I do look at it occasionally, especially when we get long-term consolidation like this. For example, I have been looking at funding and recently and stuff like that. But the point is, like, you know, I think a lot of people would agree with me. A lot of traders would agree with me, right? Getting too much into, and this kind of leads to on-chain data as well, too much into on-chain data, too much into funding, it takes away from the key structures. The only way I've ever really traded, rarely, I mean, I haven't really paid much attention ever to on-chain data. And we saw what happened during the bull market. Everyone who paid attention to on-chain data got absolutely wrecked, and fundamentally wrecked as well. And they've been getting wrecked ever since. Look at that guy, what's his name, Will Clemente or something on Twitter? You know, wrecked. That guy's wrecked. Willy Woo, wrecked. Plan B, wrecked. If they just used triangles, we'd be fine. You know what I mean? I think on-chain is beautiful. It's exclusive to Bitcoin. It's beautiful. We don't get that kind of thing with the stock market, really. There's obviously other data we have with the stock market, but it's really great. But it's not the best thing you should be looking at if you're trying to make buy or sell decisions. It's good to get a scope, and that's what I use funding for, really. It's like, if there's really nothing else to look at, I'll look at funding and I'll be like, okay, what's going on here? But if I see clearly that there's a downtrending line, I know where the support is, I know the resistance is, I don't really care about predictions unless we break that line, and I have a clear buying plan, funding's not really my primary concern in the market. And I try to keep it as simple as possible for people watching the channel as well. That's one of the reasons I don't use Fibonacci too much, because Fibonacci inherently is quite complex. A lot of people don't understand it. And I think there's better ways you can identify support and resistance. Another thing I don't use too much is Elliott wave theory. Elliott wave theory, in my opinion, is too speculative. Who tells you what a wave is? Who's telling you what consists of a wave? I've had people tell me that this is one wave, that line, and this is wave 2, but like then other people would say, okay, no, this is wave 1, and this is wave 2, this is wave 3, this is wave 4. It's like, what actually is the underlying characteristics of a wave. There's none. It's all subjective. And so you can make any sort of Elliott wave you want to fit your bias. It's all biased stuff. I don't agree with it. I believe with hard, raw, proper TA that is objective and undeniable. It's completely indisputable. What do you think about the economical situation will be like at the moment of the halving? I think by the time we get to 2024, things will be a bit better under control. I do think that. And I know people don't trust Federal Reserve projections. You know, I don't either. But I think the evidence is pretty clear that by the time we get there, with those interest rate hikes, they've done something about it already. They're already acting on it. It will be under control. And especially if, like, you know, no pandemic or something like that comes back, supply chains will naturally correct. It'll be fine. You know, and this is, you know, if we go to war, it's a different story. Obviously, I'm not talking about that. But assuming everything goes okay in like geopolitical situations and interest rates do their job, it'll be fine. It's taken a hit, that's for sure. It's taken a hit that's you know done its damage, and it will continue to slowly deteriorate. But it will be better than what it is now, that's for sure. Good point, haha. There's almost data overload with crypto. Combine that with opinion overload from YouTube, etc. Helps to simplify it. Exactly, man. There's too much information. We need to be concise with our information. What exactly are we going to be using? What exact indicators can we use? What exact market patterns do we see as valid? What exact methods of identifying resistance support? Once you start taking into account on-chain data and you take into account, oh, the Ethereum merge is going to correlation, 0.7% correlation to Bitcoin. It's like, dude, it's a triangle. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is coming from someone who trades for a living. This stuff they show you on Twitter, mostly it's just kind of like they're flexing on you. It's like, look at me, I know about funding rates. It's like, okay, you know, show me like 2 examples of you making money using that information. They can't. All right, I'm going to get into something that I wanted to look at today. And that, of course, is... actually, before we do that, I do want to look at something on Bitcoin. Because I've said, and you guys will remember me saying this. Let me find it. You guys will remember me saying this, okay? This is something I want to add to the Bitcoin video that I did today during the start of a live stream. So you guys will remember me saying, Bitcoin generally has a horizontal consolidation zone. Before it drops down, it sees one sharp move downwards, and then we round out and go up. That happened in 2015, right? Horizontal consolidation, one sharp move down, round out, go up. That happened in 2018 as well. Okay? And that could very well be happening in 2022. And of course, if we were to say that was the case, if we do see one horizontal zone, that horizontal zone would be at 28.6K. And what we can see as well is that we saw that sharp drop downwards, we see the rounding out, we might go up. Now, this is what I want to talk about, because there is no direct confirmation that the horizontal consolidation zone was at 28.6K. It could actually be right here at the current prices, because right now we are horizontally consolidating. Who's to say that it's not down here at 18.4K? And who's to say we can't go down one further leg and then round out, and then when we break 18K, that's the confirmation that the bear market's over? Who's to say that? Right, we don't know. And one thing I want to look at that kind of analyzes that is the monthly chart. Because what we see on the monthly chart, generally speaking, is a very similar pattern. Consolidation on the monthly closes in 2015, one drop down, and then we come back up. And when we break that horizontal consolidation line, we enter back into a bull market. Okay, 2018, horizontal consolidation in the monthly, break down. When we come back up, we re-enter that bullish phase. Okay, we could actually be seeing here on Bitcoin the horizontal consolidation take place down here at 18K rather than what we thought it was doing at 28.6K. So perhaps we go down further to like 13K or 11K, as we've said before, and perhaps that's where we bottom. And perhaps when we break above 18K again or 19K again, that's the reversal point. Just throwing it out there, just speculation. That's kind of like a scenario for a lower Bitcoin, you know, a further down Bitcoin. Something I looked at today. I found it interesting. And even if you don't even care about any of that, well, what you can notice is that there is a monthly support zone on the monthly chart here. and we have actually come down. We've got 2 days until the monthly candle close, and we are below it right now, and a breakdown from that would be very bearish. So that's kind of evidence for a lower Bitcoin. That's evidence for a Bitcoin dropping below 17.5K. Interesting, right? You know, and this goes back to what I said. I don't have a specific price target. I have multiple price targets. Mainly, I'm concerned with the date of the bottom. You know, that's evidence for a lower Bitcoin. Who knows, man? Could play out. Thought that was interesting. Now, I do want to watch this video. I will be answering some questions before I get into it. This is a video made by Crypto Crew University. Let's read some questions first. Remember the people calling for a super cycle? Yeah, man. Stupid, bro. Just absolutely dumb. I really don't like when people say this time's different in any scenario. It's just kind of like, man, if you knew anything about TA, you'd know that the fundamental principles of TA prohibit you from saying things like that. Like, what makes this time so different? You know, it's speaking about last bull market. Really? Everything's the same. It's still topped out as per the 4-year cycle theory. It's still bottomed out as per the 4-year cycle theory. There was still the same mid-market corrections. We still had a red September, like usual. You know, what makes it so different? What, we had a double top? Really? That's the one thing you can point to that makes it different? That's it? The double top? The double top happened perfectly at the same exact day as predicted by the 4-year cycle theory. So, you know, it's not really that different. I hate people who say that. Oh, this time's different, guys. Trust me. Nah, dude. Bro, how is it possible with this rate hike inflation peak? Yeah, so one thing I'd like you to understand is that, and I assume you mean how's the Q4 bottom possible, I think. You need to understand, guys, that, and again, this is my opinion. You can disagree with it, that's fine. You need to understand, though, that the markets don't predict the present. They don't reflect the present. Everything looks bad right now. Inflation's still going up. Well, it kind of is. It's actually going down a little bit, by the way. But interest rates are going up still. The point is, the market predicts what it's going to look like in the future. What life is going to look like in the future. They predict like 6 months down the road. So what we saw, really, is inflation is starting to taper off. Oil prices are down massively. They're down like 40%, 30%, okay, which is a very good sign. And interest rate hikes, yes, they're still increasing, but the magnitude of rate hike per hike is going to start to decrease soon. So that's why, you know, it's not necessarily, markets don't really see, oh, what's the situation right now and we're going to reflect the price. Markets are like, well, what's going on in the future? What's going to happen down the road? Is there a light at the end of a tunnel? That's what the markets look like. So that's why I think a Q4 bottom is still on the table for sure. What do you think of Vision Pulse's analysis? I'm not going to check him out right now just because I have a video already coming, but I will actually go ahead and write down Vision Pulse, and I'll check it out after. FYI, there are women in the chat too, not just boys, guys, and men. Yeah, look, we've got a bot in here. Hold on one second. Yeah, I do have like a 9% female audience or something like that. It's like 8 or 9%. It's very, very minuscule. But the point is, I say guys as a collective term. I'm not just saying... Why do I need to explain this? Far out, man. Thought this was the crypto space. Didn't realize I was on Twitter. What if the war grows? Where does Bitcoin head? Man, if the war grows and we go World War III, of course Bitcoin's going to go down, at least initially. Now, look, at least initially, there is a scenario where we could be seeing Bitcoin actually start to go up. As everyone gets triggered, you know, if everyone collectively gets triggered at their governments for going to war, you know, we could see people opt out more. But at least initially, there'd be a massive drop, of course. You can't predict inflation with oil, mate. Well, I actually can. I can do that. And the reason I can do that is because if you look at inflation, and you look at where inflation peaked out. Inflation peaked out here in June. And on the very next day that inflation peaked out as per CPI, June 13th was the CPI reading. On that very day, oil prices started to drop, and since that point, we have been downtrending on regular inflation, regular CPI. So you can actually use it to predict inflation. It is a major part. Now, you can't just use oil, but it is a major part of it. So I think that's a bit of a incorrect comment there. I thought Crypto Career University was kind of scammy / douchey when I first saw him. He called the move up from 4K on Bitcoin in 2019, and I didn't believe him. I got absolutely wrecked. Respected him ever since. That's true. Yeah, look, he's certainly not a bad analyst. I mean, there's nothing... I can't say I watch his content all the time. In fact, I've only watched a few of his videos, but he doesn't seem like a bad analyst. There's nothing... He's not reprehensible like Moonboy Carl, or anything like that. Or what's that guy's name? Can't remember his name. The guy does the crazy faces in every thumbnail. The shocked faces. I can't remember. Crypto. Yeah, he's not reprehensible, man. There's nothing wrong with him. But I would caution you away from... 2019 is a long time ago. It's 3 years. If he hasn't made any other good predictions, maybe... But maybe he has. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Hands in the air. I don't know anything about him. I'm just saying. If you point to one time, that's sketchy stuff. But maybe he's done heaps of good predictions. I don't know. I can't say for sure. No hate to him at all. In fact, I'm using his content for this live stream. So shout out to Crypto Crew, dude. Wolf would love to... I'm going to get into this video in 2 seconds. I do want to look at before I get into it. I got pins and needles in my leg, man. Not a good feeling. I do want to get into something he said. This is Crypto Career University. You guys would know about this by now. He basically made a observation, and it's a pretty good observation, and I'm going to bring it up. Hopefully it's here somewhere. So this is kind of like every single cycle, what we've had so far. Not cycle, but every single big move we've had so far. These are the percentage gains between those big moves. And what you'll notice is that, I'm not going to do it all right now, I'll just explain it to you. If you take the percentages of each of these moves, so for example, this move here in 2011, if you divide that number, 350,000% by 5.3, you end up with 62,000. If you divide 62,000 by 5.3, you end up with 11,000. If you divide 11,000 by 5.3, you end up with 2,100. So what's happening is the number 5.3 is predicting the trajectory of Bitcoin in the future as per future moves. And assuming the bottom is at 17.5K, as per his prediction, Bitcoin will top out at 90K in the next cycle. That's what he claimed. So that's an overarching claim to know before we go into this video. Now, I disagree with this entirely. And the reason I disagree with it, I don't disagree with it, I can't deny it, it's definitely true. But the reason I don't agree with it is because what happens next? Well, what's 411 divided by 5.3? If we're going to continue this trend, we have to be consistent with our logic. So if he believes in this trend, he has to be consistent. All right? So he believes in this trend. So he believes that every single cycle, we're going to divide by 5.3, and that's where Bitcoin's going. So right now, if we divide 411 by 5.3, we see that Bitcoin would only go up 77% in the cycle after 2025. And so assuming we bottom out, 40K, I don't know, and we go up 77%, he's assuming that after 2025, Bitcoin will never see an all-time high again. As per his prediction, as per the data he is using to make the prediction of 90K Bitcoin in 2025, he is assuming, as per that same data point, that we will never see an all-time high in Bitcoin again after 2025, which I fundamentally disagree with, and I think it outlines a major flaw in his theory. The major flaw is this. This trend cannot be sustained forever without Bitcoin simply dying, and hence it should be taken with a grain of salt. So with that said, I'm going to get back to your comments in a second, but with that said, let's get into his video. Let's see what he has to say. Let me know if you guys can hear this, by the way.
5 years are going to be so bright.
Can you hear it?
Incredible things happening.
Can you hear that? Say yes if you can hear it. Just let me know, and then I'll play the video once I get some confirmation. If you can hear this.
Bitcoin is probably going to reach $500,000.
Is the volume good? We good? Yes, we're good. Good volume. All right, all good. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go back to the start. Now, I haven't watched this video yet. I got recommended this video, and apparently it's very interesting, so I'll give you my thoughts about it. A little bit quiet. I'll turn it up a little bit for you guys. Turn it up a little bit.
Everyone in crypto would agree. The next 5 years are going to be so bright. There's so many incredible things happening. Bitcoin is probably going to reach $500,000, maybe $1 million. Right now, maybe things aren't good. We're in a bear market. But the next 5 years are going to be incredible. Everyone's going to make a lot of money. Everyone is going to be a millionaire and drive a Lambo. But what if the exact opposite were to be true? As you know, Bitcoin likes to surprise everybody. Markets like to surprise everybody. And what I'm going to show you
Yeah, why do I feel like I'm at a cinema right now?
today is going to destroy your hopes and dreams for the next 5 years for Bitcoin. You will hate it, everything I'm about to tell you, but you will respect it because it's based on facts. And it's happened in markets, actually 2 other times in history. So what we're saying Bitcoin might do, it's actually happened before, it's happened multiple times, and markets always react like this. In today's video, I'm going to share what that is, what could happen to Bitcoin for the next 5 years, and how it could take away your hopes and dreams, but only for about 5 years. If you're new here, my name is Steve. Hit that subscribe button. I went from welfare to minting millionaires with my courses, and you can find our courses at cryptocrewuniversity.com. We're going to jump into this video right here. What I'm going to share with you is something about what happened with the Dow Jones during this entire period, and something that happened with the Dow Jones again during this entire period. Usually, these periods happen after extraordinary growth, and the markets needed to build a base.
All right, so I think I know what he's going to say. I'll make my prediction on what he's going to predict, just based off the chart he's showing right now. He's going to say something like, all right, so Bitcoin's seen massive growth just like the Dow Jones did, and eventually the Dow Jones have to have a long consolidation, and so does Bitcoin. And he's going to point to the fact that we saw like some sort of flat top, and he's going to be like, well, we saw a flat top in 2021. That's my prediction. Let's see.
They didn't build a base for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They built a base for years because the growth rate was just too substantial, and the markets needed to cool off and create a strong base and foundation for the next run. And once we had that next run and everyone became, very, very wealthy, we had another period of extremely slow growth. And there are signals in here. And there's things that happen in this type of a scenario that we see happening with Bitcoin. Bitcoin recently made a double top. Now, it didn't capture the attention of a lot of folks.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Wait, what did I say? Let's go. Wolfpack, what did I say? I predict the markets. I predict the videos. You know how it is, man. Tell me that wasn't a good prediction. That was good. That was good. No one can tell me otherwise. I'm getting hyped. That was good. All right. Raymond said, I just came. Who is this guru? We're reacting to a video by Crypto Crew University. I haven't seen the video yet. He makes a claim about Bitcoin apparently that is pretty compelling, according to one of my subscribers. So we're taking a look. We're getting into it.
Folks. But Bitcoin has never made a double top. You can see the top here. You could see the top here, the top here, the top here. We've never made a double top. And what's really concerning is that both of these scenarios started with a double top. The scenario back here in 1960.
Rob, I swear on my life, I have never watched this video before. I swear to you, I have never watched this before. I swear, I've never watched, Rob, I don't know how I can, I don't know.
65, back in the good old days, if you were alive then, you can see that this top turned into a double top in 1969, and then a triple top in 73, and then a quadruple top in 76, and it took us literally 16 and a half years to recover. And by the way, this chart is a shout out to Xcavo. Maybe somebody can message him, maybe you can message him and tell them that we gave him a shout out. But make no mistake, these markets happen in cycles. And when you have extraordinary growth, like we did from this bottom to this top, we had to have a slowdown period. We had to create a strong foundation in order to have an actual next bull run, okay? This always happens in markets, especially markets that are very, very hot. They need to cool off and create a foundation. There's nothing hotter than Bitcoin. Nothing. Nothing on earth has grown faster than Bitcoin. Nothing. You could have taken your money and put it in anything in the past 13 years, and nothing would have earned you as much of a return as Bitcoin. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. Bitcoin has never had a double top. Bitcoin has been hot, white hot, and blue hot its entire life.
So he's saying basically, and I'm gonna let him finish his point. By the way, I don't want to make too many things before he's finished his point. There's a reason why I'm staying quiet. I like to let people speak properly, get all their points out before I speak. But what I will say first and foremost is he keeps mentioning the fact that Bitcoin's had a double top. Now I want to be very clear, and I'm going to bring up a chart to be very clear about this. This double top formation we had on Bitcoin. Let me get my correct 4-year cycle chart on. This double top formation we had on Bitcoin, yes, it was a double top. Yes, we have never seen a double top on Bitcoin before. However, it wasn't out of the ordinary. It wasn't completely unpredictable. The reason why it occurred is because as per the 4-year cycle date range trend, it was predicted. It was predicted as per the date range trend in relation to bottom to tops in bear markets, and the date range trend as per the predictions from top to tops in bull markets. That top in November, although it was abstract that it topped out in the same region it did in April, that top as per a date range trend was completely predictable. So the fact that it's a double top alone, in my opinion, that's abstract. It's abnormal. But the fact that it was predictable as per a date range trend makes it less abnormal. I will also say that this original pump on Bitcoin was completely overblown. It shouldn't have gone that high. The reason it went that high, if you guys will remember, is because of Tesla, Elon Musk, MicroStrategy. There's many reasons why it went that high, but realistically, if the market acted naturally, we should have actually seen something like this on Bitcoin. And there's a reason we saw a 50% correction in May, because the market was coming back down to the fair valuation. So this double top actually was predictable, but it shouldn't have existed in the first place. Not because Bitcoin was doing something weird, but because we shouldn't have gone this high in April. So that's my argument against the double top. I don't think just because we saw a double top that all of a sudden Bitcoin's ultra bearish and we should consolidate for 16 years. That's not what he's saying, but I'm just saying, it's not really that abnormal in my opinion. It was predictable. So, but let's continue.
Right? It only knows hot. Now, the question would be, what would
Leave a like on the live stream, guys. Let's get some more people in here. Leave a like. Appreciate it.
cause sideways move for multiple years like this? It started back here in the 60s with a double top, and it started back here in the year 1999 and 2000 and 2001 was a double and triple top. That's how it started. And then it took 13 and a half years to recover from this. And it started with a double top. It took 16 and a half years to recover from this. And it started with a double top. The double top was our warning. You can see none of these others were double tops. On the whole ride up, it was just white hot. On the whole ride up here, white hot, no double tops. But it started with a double top. That triggered a train reaction. And it took many, many, many years to recover. So the question becomes, could this actually happen with Bitcoin? How long would it last? And what would it look like? On our videos, we always provide a perspective that's new and fresh and unique. That's why you just subscribed. You don't see anybody else talking about this idea and having it be based on facts. You don't see it. That's why you come to our channel. We don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what's actually true in the charts. That's why you just hit that subscribe button. Now, I want to talk about what it would actually look like if Bitcoin moved sideways for a handful of years, right? Because everybody...
Well, Bitcoin moves sideways every bear market. That's what happens. Every bear market, we have 1 year of growth and we have 3 years of sideways. That's generally what happens. I mean, it wouldn't be abnormal at all. So he's going to go on and expand. I'm going to let him finish his points.
It would agree that Bitcoin is going to reach 100K in our next bull run. I don't think there'll be many people that say, I don't think so, except for folks that follow our channel, because we've also based that on facts. But now you've got further evidence.
So yeah, that's a good thing that he said. He said that he doesn't believe we're going to reach 100K in the next cycle. And again, he's basing that off of what we looked at before. He's basing that off of this trend. And that trend, as we discovered, is unsustainable. It is not a sustainable trend. It will eventually lead to Bitcoin's death. And so it needs to be taken with a grain of salt. So when he says things like, this is one thing I've noticed. He constantly pushes forward the idea that he's relying on facts and data. And although that is true, this is a trend that is based on facts and data. There's no doubt about that. The point is, he needs to go a step further. He needs to extrapolate it a step further and realize that, yes, it's based on facts and data, but it's unsustainable. So when's it going to break? We need to answer that question. But anyway, I'll let him finish his points further. I'm sure there's more stuff here.
It might not just be not 100K this year. It might not be 100K in the following year, and the following year after that, and the following year after that, and the following year after that. It might be a while until we reach 100K. We might be in this kind of a pattern similar to here. Would it be for 13 and a half years? No, I really doubt it. Would it be for 16 and a half years? No. Bitcoin moves a lot faster than these markets, and I would suspect it'll be a lot less. We'll talk about how long in a moment, but I want to start with what would it actually look like? Okay, because we started with a double top. So we have to ask ourselves, is this a sign of what's to come, right? We have our base down here. We don't know where the bottom is yet. We have projected that the bottom is in as of a little over 90 days ago, but let's hypothetically say the bottom's not in.
So he thinks the bottom's in. He thinks the bottom's in at 17.5K. That's interesting. And I suppose that's where he's getting his 90K prediction from.
And we swing down here, and then we come back up, and we have another top up here, and then we come back down, and we have a top down, or we bottom back out, and then we have another top. I mean, we're already in 2025, right? You could see what's happened in the past.
Wait, is he serious? I don't want to judge him, but is this his prediction? That green line? What? Based on what? Based on what? Based on the NASDAQ? What is he looking at? Based on the Dow Jones. Hold on a second. Now, no, you lose me there, man. Crypto crew, if you're watching this, you lose me. You've lost me. I'm lost. You've completely lost me. You can't just point at the Dow Jones from the 1960s and see that it does this and be like, oh yeah, we saw a double top, therefore Bitcoin's going to do that until 2025. That's not analysis. That's not facts and data. What are you talking about? All right, hold on a second. Benefit of a doubt. Maybe that's... Okay, I don't want to judge him. Maybe that's not what he meant. Let's continue.
We come back down, and we have a top down, or we bottom back out, and then we have another top. I mean, we're already in 2025, right? You could see what's happened in the past. Now, this is where things get interesting, because this really goes against the grain, and I like our videos to really go against the grain. I like to make you a little bit uncomfortable with facts, because what you talk about with your friends in crypto is only Bitcoin going to 250,000 to 500,000, and it seems like it's a done deal, that it's already happened, that it's 100% certainty that it's going to happen. And that's where you get into trouble with markets. There's never a certainty in markets.
I agree with that. That's a good point.
You can see this growth rate from the year 1982 to the year 2000 was astronomical, and everybody thought that growth rate was going to continue. Everybody. And that's where markets take you by surprise. Markets are designed to take the majority by surprise. They always do. And you can look back even 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Anything that's represented money has always taken people by surprise. And the surprise comes in the form of greed. Every human has greed. There's no human on earth that doesn't have any greed. And greed is really troublesome in markets, because that's where you can cloud your judgment and it will take advantage of you, right? So it started with a simple double top back in the 60s. It started with a simple double top back in 1999, and it took years and years and years to recover. What could Bitcoin potentially do? How likely is this to happen? What's my honest opinion? How likely? Is it like a 5% chance, or is it like a 50% chance? That's a big difference. So let's discuss that now. Is it a small chance? I would say this is definitely a chance, because we've shown some early signs. Bitcoin has been white hot. We've clearly been slowing down. You can see our growth rate here, slowed a little bit here, slowed quite a bit here, and slowed dramatically here. Bitcoin is showing signs that it's ready to take a little bit of a breather and have a handful of year period like this. And by the way, this would surprise everybody, right? This top not being 100K, not being 250,000, not being 250,000, it would take everybody by surprise, especially if we crashed all the way back down to a similar bottom or lower, which could happen. So I wanted to present you the next 5 years of Bitcoin may not be what you expect. It may not be what you want.
All right, I'm about to pop off. How many views does this have? How many views? 65,000 views, 5,200 likes. Okay. What am I meant to say here? I don't want to start beef. Okay, I'll say this. He said, facts and data. He did not present any facts and data in that entire analysis. He looked at a chart, right? He looked at a chart from, as you can see, I'm going to bring it up. He looked at this chart. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, okay? From 1970 and 2000s, early 2000s. He looked at that chart. He said, this had a double top after going parabolic. Therefore, Bitcoin will. Anyway, guys, that's facts and data, and there's no disputing it, and that's it. What are you talking about, my friend? That doesn't even make sense. He literally just did the same thing as me going to... This is what he did, okay? Oh yeah, I'm on Quant right now, random altcoin. Quant has a triangle formation, okay? Therefore, if Bitcoin has a triangle formation, it should do what Quant did. Facts and data, don't dispute me, I'm correct. Bye, guys. That's literally what he did. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. He literally just looked at a chart, completely disconnected from Bitcoin. Looked at that chart, saw a double top, and said Bitcoin's going to go sideways for 5 years based on that. What? Am I wrong? Am I tripping? Please explain to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I seriously don't... There was no analysis there. He didn't do anything. He just looked at a chart. He saw that it was... Okay, this is what he did. Okay, hold on. Let me bring up the Bitcoin chart. I'm giving him the biggest benefit of a doubt I can possibly give him. Okay. He looked at the Bitcoin chart. He said, okay, guys, Bitcoin generally goes up very fast, and then it goes up again, and then it goes down, and it goes up again. Therefore, if you look at the Dow Jones does that as well. Therefore, Bitcoin should go sideways. Facts and data. Is that not what he did? Am I tripping? Is that not what he did just then? That's not analysis. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying here. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Chris Tat says, all these analysis are based on Bitcoin's past cycles. Yeah, maybe it is. Not that one, though. He's a Bitcoin whale, guys. He's trying to stop you from buying. I don't know if he's evil, but I just think he's wrong. One fact presented. The green line he drew in paint. But yeah, like he didn't actually... I'm telling you, he didn't actually do any analysis. All he said, basically, was Bitcoin saw a double top. It's never done that before. Therefore, it's going to go sideways for longer. And if we look at the Dow Jones... that did that, hence Bitcoin will do it, even though they're completely separate. They're not even connected in the slightest way possible. For example, the Dow Jones in the 1970s has nothing to do with Bitcoin in 2022. Every chart has a double top occasionally. Okay, that doesn't mean it's going to go sideways until 2025. I mean, and it probably will go sideways until 2025 because of the 4-year cycle theory, but not because of this random analysis that he did that's based on nothing. I'm going to stop speaking about this because that just makes no sense and I don't want to create beef. Crypto Crew, if you're watching this, my friend, I respect your analysis, respect everything about you, not trying to start beef. Please don't hit me with a lawsuit or anything like that. I'm not trying to take away from your channel. I was told to react to this video. I disagree with it respectfully. I respect your opinion. You probably disagree with me. That's great. Don't sue me. My hands are in the air. I've surrendered. Please don't sue me. I'm already under attack on a daily basis in the comment section. I don't need to be under attack by... Please. I'll buy your course, please. Alright, guys. Yeah, look, again, I respect Crypto Crew University. He did a good analysis. The thing he did regarding divide it by 5.3 every time, that was good analysis. I didn't know about that. He showed me that. Good on him. I disagree. It's definitely a thing. It definitely exists, and we should keep an eye on it. I don't think it will go on forever, but that was a great video because it presented something I've never seen before. The video I just watched literally makes no sense. He actually didn't say anything. He looked at the Dow Jones and he said, looks like Bitcoin, and ended the video. This was a good one. Crypto Crew, speak more about this, because that was a good video. The 5.3 divided by 5.3, that was a good video. Anyway, I don't want to start beef. I'm done. I'm done with that. What do we want to look at, guys? Any recommendations? Or should we end it off? Source, trust me, bro. Yeah, legit. Source. Hey, guys, facts and data. Trust me. Guys, I've got a really good prediction. Bitcoin's going to $1 million next week. because I looked at a chart that's not related to Bitcoin and it went up. So Bitcoin's going to go up. And I'm going to draw a green line and therefore facts and data by my course. Man, I'm going to get myself in so much trouble. I need to stop. I'm done talking about this. Stop talking about it. It's over. BTC could go down and never reach its all-time high again. It could. You're correct, Chris. It certainly could. But I don't think it will. And I don't think many people think it will. You know, why are we interested in crypto if we think that's going to happen? I literally was going to ask your opinion on people who keep comparing Bitcoin to the stock market, ignoring how Bitcoin has its own cycle and halving event. Exactly. The Dow Jones Industrial Index has nothing to do with Bitcoin. They're connected purely because of the macro situation, right? They're not actually connected. The Bitcoin halving doesn't affect the Dow Jones. Let's not act like it does. Let's not act like what the Dow Jones did in the 1960s affect Bitcoin. It just doesn't. It just straight up just doesn't. There's no denying it. You ever watch Kevin Sevson? I know who you're talking about. I don't watch him though, but I know who you're talking about. I've seen him on Twitter. His famous quote, "Expect the unexpected or the unexpected will expect. Expect the unexpected or the unexpected will expect." I don't think I have a high enough IQ to understand that. Wolves seems like we're gonna see some time of pump relief for Bitcoin anytime soon. DXY looks weaker in the lower time frames, and we see a sell-off. Yeah, this is what I talked about earlier before. At the start of the video, I talked about the fact that the DXY, where is it? The DXY is at resistance. That's the wrong chart. One second. The DXY is at resistance. As you can see, it's got some pretty compelling, let's go to the weekly chart. It's got some pretty compelling diagonal resistance lines. It is at resistance. S&P 500 is at support. DXY is at resistance. We could see something. We could see some sort of reaction from the markets here. I don't know though, man. It's hard to say. I mean, the S&P is literally like losing its support as we speak. So it's kind of bold to sit here and say we'll see a bounce. But I will say as well, it's very bold to sit here and say we'll see a continued dump as well. We're in the open right now. We're in no man's land. I'm the one that recommended that video. I feel bad, man. The W. Don't feel bad, man. It was a good video. It was an interesting video. I like seeing what other people think. I hope that Crypto Career University, if he sees this, I don't think he will, but if he does, I hope he doesn't take it personally. There's nothing personal about the reaction I just made. I'm reacting purely to his analysis, not to him as a person or him as a channel. I do respect him. I think he makes some good videos, but I simply disagree with that. Thanks for the recommendation, though. It was an interesting video to react to, for sure. Don't end now. I'm having my morning coffee and won't be going to work for 2 hours. I might be ending soon, unfortunately, my friend. I need to get the content out that I've made in this video because I did do 2 trade signals and a Bitcoin video, and they obviously are time sensitive, so I need to be getting those out. So I will be ending within the next 10 minutes, most likely. But if you've got any final questions, guys, go ahead and chuck them in the chat, and I will get to them. Your thoughts on Crypto Sniper, aka Market Sniper, aka Reset Psyker, aka Francis Hunt. Why has he got so many names? Crypto Sniper, pretty good analyst, man. I did used to follow him during the maybe 2021. I don't know when it was. I haven't checked up him in a long time though. It's been a long time. In fact, I'm going to check up him right now on my other screen to see how he's doing. Let me see if he's got any interesting content for us to consume here. What do you think? What do you guys think about this segment? If I add this to every live stream, I'll just do a reaction video to someone else's analysis. I think it's pretty good because what I do is I give my own analysis and then I react to someone else's and give my opinions on it. I think it's cool. Do you guys like it? Do you enjoy that reaction or no? Let me know. Francis Hunt. Francis Hunt. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. I might be thinking of the wrong person. Yeah, wrong person, man. I haven't seen that guy before. There's a lot of people named Sniper, Crypto Sniper, Sheldon Sniper. There's a lot of them. But yeah. Hello, first time here. Thoughts on Quant? Quant has gone up extensively in the last few days. I don't recommend, few weeks actually. I don't recommend getting into it now. I think it's overvalued. As per the charts. Quickly check out the Crypto Savvy video. I might do it in tomorrow's stream, my friend. But I'll check out what video you're referring to right now on my side screen here. Crypto Savvy, you said? Crypto Savvy. Clickbait title. Can't say I've looked into him too much, but I will check it out. I really appreciate for answering and providing all the time for us. No problem, my friend. Makes it interesting. No Wolf, this is a bubble and it's popping. I think he's referring to Bitcoin. Chris, you think Bitcoin's popping? Don't you think this is just a normal 4-year cycle bear market? I mean, we don't really have any other evidence to suggest anything other than that at this point in time. I'll agree with you. I will agree with you if I see evidence for it. I just don't see the evidence for it. We topped out in November as per the 4-year cycle. We're going down as per the 4-year cycle. We haven't seen anything really abstract during the bear market so far. You know, if we start breaking below 10K, maybe I'll start to agree with you. But at this point in time, I just don't see evidence for it. It's just speculation. Could be right though, man. Like, you know, it's not certain. This crypto stuff is not certain. I'll agree with you on that. But I don't think it's I don't necessarily think it's a bubble in a conventional sense. We need to 10x your sub count somehow. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Reaction videos sound good, Wolf. Excellent. Everyone enjoyed the reaction. 3 a.m. can't sleep. Man, when I can't sleep at 3 a.m., I just stay up, to be honest, because you reset your... This is bad advice. I shouldn't be saying that. You just reset your sleeping cycle. What you do when you can't sleep, if you're like, you got a stuffed up sleeping cycle, you just stay awake one night, and then the next night you go to bed at like a reasonable time, and you've reset your sleep. I don't know. Is that... Got any doctors in the chat? I don't know. What's a sleep expert called? You and Crypto Savvy are the polar opposite. $6:15 a.m. here in CA. Is that California? CA? Is that what that stands for? California? Had to stay awake for the live, lol. Dude, don't stay awake for me, man. I'll post these clips later. Within a few hours, they'll all be up. Or some of them will. So don't stay awake for me. If you need to go to bed, you need to go to bed. I do live streams. I'm going to switch around the times every time I do it. Tomorrow, I'll probably do one in the afternoon in Australia. I might start a few hours earlier. We'll see. Would you consider holding Litecoin as a long-term investment? Litecoin would be on my consideration list because it does have... That's an interesting question. Now, a lot of people don't like Litecoin. I personally actually do like Litecoin. I don't hold it currently. I would not long-term hold it. However, I don't oppose strongly to long-term holding it simply because it has a very long period of historical price action. If we bring up the Litecoin chart, we can see that Litecoin, I don't know which chart would show the most price history, but Litecoin has been around for a very long period of time. In fact, the coin market cap chart would probably be best to look at. Give me 1 second. Litecoin, in a sense, has developed some very strong longer-term trends that are not present in other altcoins. Do I think it's better than Bitcoin for the long term? Not at all. Not at all. And the main reason is because it will never be Bitcoin, but it did come out in 2013. It does have a proven price history. It is adopted. What you'll notice is that every time cryptocurrency is taken as payment, it's always Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Always those 4 coins. Litecoin is amongst the big names in institutional adoption. So I would consider it. I wouldn't do it at this point in time, but I would consider it. It's not a bad idea. Where do you think Bitcoin will bounce to for short term? Do you think we could revisit soon to 17.5K this month? This month is only 2 days, so maybe. But I think we will get there very shortly. As I said, I think I'm a believer in the October to November bottom, so I think we'll retest that level shortly, yeah. I missed the live, sorry, but it's great to see other thoughts or analysis and why predictions differ. Good job, Wolf. Have you discussed the effect of any possible coming regulation? I do openly discuss quite a lot the effect of central bank digital currency on the cryptocurrency market. I'm not going to do that in this video because I don't want to get banned, and I have talked about it quite a bit recently. And I've heard that you can talk. I've heard this. This is a thing, by the way. I don't know if it's true. I've got some friends that I know personally in content creation, and they've told me that you can talk about something controversial a few times, but if you talk about it daily or something like that, or like every video, you start to get flagged as like a conspiracy theorist, and they hit you. They come whack you. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about it too often, but I do talk about regulation. I think regulation is the biggest threat to cryptocurrency, 100%. It's not energy usage or anything like that. It's not, Ethereum is going to overtake it. It's regulation, 100% regulation. There's no way around it. That is the biggest threat to cryptocurrency. Wolves, if we break the trend line before touching your targets, will you enter? Are you referring to this trend line? I think you might be referring to... Where is it? 1 second. Delete a chart. Let's go to... I assume you're referring to this yellow trend line here, in which case, yes, I will buy Bitcoin. I will buy Bitcoin if we break this trend line. If we convincingly break this trend line. We need a 3-day candle close above that trend line, and I will buy Bitcoin. Yes, the answer is yes. Now, for those of you who are very conservative on Bitcoin, it is worth noting that the actual trend reversal point is 28.6k. Just remember that. For those of you who are very conservative. But I'm not going to wait till 28.6k. But just for those of you who are, just keep that in mind. If you don't want to lose money at any point in time, you don't want to be down in investments, you're sick of being down, 28.6k is your zone, in my opinion. Alright guys, I might end it off there. Final questions, last 5 minutes of the live stream. Final questions, chuck them in and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Should I put on the farewell sunglasses? The farewell sunglasses are being equipped. So answer your final questions. Looking forward to seeing your reaction video on Crypto Sniper Francis Hunt in the next live stream. Wolf, man surely has a gift for the gab once he goes on his ramble. I will definitely check him out. Make sure to... I will post a community post on YouTube tomorrow asking for recommendations for the next live stream. Go ahead and chuck in a link to a video of his you find interesting that you want me to react to, and I'll check it out. Not sure if my comments here are showing, but just want to say thank you so much. They are certainly showing Big Smoke, and I appreciate that. No worries. Do you personally know Megawell? Yes, I do personally know Megawell. I've met him multiple times. Good bloke. I like him. We'll probably be meeting up again sometime in late October. It's always a good time. We might do a joint live stream. GG, see you later. See you later, Chris. Have a good one. Opinions on buying altcoins when Bitcoin bottoms in the hopes of selling them after the pump. I'm going to tell you what, my friend. I'm going to give you a video that I made. I'm going to post a link. Give me 1 second. I made a video recently, maybe a month ago or so, regarding buying altcoins at the halving rather than at the bottom. And I'm going to find that video for you right now, and you can give that a watch. Let me find it. Might take a while to find. While I'm finding this, post any remaining questions you have. See if I can find this video here. And this goes for more than just that guy who asked the question. Everyone should watch this video. It's a very important video. I just need to find it. Where is it? Wolves of Crypto. Why I am not buying till. I cannot find. I can't find the video. Wow. Uh, just a second. I'll find it for you. Any final questions? Chuck them in the chat. Here we go. I found it. Okay, let me send this link to you. Isaiah, I'm gonna chuck that link to the video in the chat right now. You'll see it in there. That's the link. Watch that video. Answers your question perfectly. See, any final questions we got here? Let's see. We've got. That video you're about to post is how I found your channel. Yeah, it's a good video. It's an interesting video. Not many people know about that. I think it's very important that people don't buy altcoins until the halving. For long term, you can trade, sure. You can, and in fact, you can if you want to. Okay, just know that the odds are stacked against you by doing that. I'm going to take off the goodbye sunglasses because I'm about to end the stream. But I'll look for myself, bro. No, it's all good. I found it for you. I just posted in there. Funny how people saw Bitcoin as a savior from $1 and the stock market, but when things actually start to go bad for the real economy, Bitcoin's not a savior by any means yet. The intention of Bitcoin is to be some sort of savior. But even if it's not, even if Bitcoin's still correlated, the point is it's still decentralized. It's still not part of the system. So it is a net positive regardless of whether it's decentralized or not. In some sense, it's never going to be completely disconnected. Because if you think about it, if we're in a recession, people don't have much money to spend. They don't want to spend too much money, and they're losing their jobs, whatever, inflation's going up. They're going to be less bullish on any asset. They're not going to be willing to take any risks. So it does affect Bitcoin. It always will. It always will be dependent to a certain extent on the macro. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. This is a non-crypto related question. Is our new generation weak? This is more of a Limitless channel question. Is our new generation weak? That's an interesting question. Weak. In the West, yeah, I think to a certain extent we are a little bit weak in the West, and I think that's a result of having a very privileged society. And in general, I think when people don't have much to worry about, they generally start to worry about things that don't exist. I don't want to get too into that topic because it leads down rabbit holes that I'm not going to be able to avoid getting banned for. And that's not to say I'm some super conservative person, by the way. I'm really not a super conservative person. But I do understand that when a society is fundamentally, when you live in a society that's fundamentally, it's impossible for you to starve to death. Like starvation, for example, starvation in the West. Like, what's the worst case scenario in the West? You're homeless. Okay, you actually can't die. You actually can't die. If you go to Africa, some of these countries here, you can die. If you're dead. Like, there's no homeless shelter. There's no like free food. You're gone. So there's the higher stakes. The higher the stakes there are, the more realistic you have to be about your life, and the more determined you have to be to build something. And the more you can take, the more shit you can take. Essentially, I think in the West we do. It's not a bad thing. Like, in a way, it's a good thing that we lack that. But I think the negative side effect of having a very privileged society is generally speaking, people are very weak, and not weak like. It's not like they're intellectually weak. It's more just like they can't. Any kind of, tragedy is kind of like an instant defeat. Like there's no challenge. Like you look at, for example, I'm not going to get into this too much. Okay, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to get banned. I refuse. What's the best tool to use with high, lower, low strategy? High, lower, low strategy. I don't think that's a strategy. I think that's just TA, man. If you expand on that a little bit, I might be able to answer it a little bit better. I've been saying I'm going to end this live stream for like 25 minutes now. Should I end it or should I just keep answering questions? When the questions dry up, I'll end it. As long as you guys keep answering questions, I'm good to go. I don't care. I got all night, man. I'm going to be editing till like 2 a.m. I don't care. So if you want to keep asking questions, go ahead. Just know that the analysis, the TA's part's pretty much done. In fact, no, it's not. Bitcoin's pumping a little bit. Just back to where it was, really. go to the 4-hourly chart. This is a pretty crucial line to draw in on the 4-hourly chart if you're interested in short term for Bitcoin. This line here, this downtrending line, you can draw it from the 14th of September, draw it all through these wicks here. If we break it above that line, you're pretty much certain to go to 19.5k for a retest. Pretty little nice trade signal there. And the longer we spend below it, the more likely we are to retest 17.5k. That's an interesting line there if you're interested in the short term for Bitcoin. BTC is pumping due to Bank of England news. I've been live, so I haven't been able to look at any kind of news that's come out. If you could send a link in the chat, that would be appreciated, and I'll take a look. Yeah. Bitcoin daily time frame RSI. There's a resistance line stemming from 2020. Is there? 2020. Oh, you mean a horizontal resistance? You're referring to the resistance line at around 79 or 80 or 80. What is it? 85-ish? 79 to 85? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I mean that's pretty expected due to the fact that that's the oversold territory of the RSI. If you're looking for RSI lines that are interesting, I would recommend going to the 3-day chart. The 3-day chart for Bitcoin is a very interesting RSI line. If you go to, for example, do I have it here somewhere? Probably not. I'll bring it up. I'll just draw it up for you right now. 34 on the 3-day RSI. That is something you need to get a horizontal line out. This is the wrong chart. Here we go. 34 on the 3-day RSI. Let's draw it in. Everyone should have this line. Everyone should be watching this line. Very important line. Shout out to Mega Crypto. He identified this line. You can see every time we touch it, we either bounce below it or we drop massively. The price hence either bounces or drops massively. And generally speaking, when we drop below it, we see like a 30 to 40% correction. Generally speaking, when we hold it, we see like a very, very decent, substantial pump. We've just tested it recently. And we dropped below it here in like May, and that's why we saw a massive correction down from like 48k. All right, that's one of the reasons at least. That's an important RSI line. If you're looking for an RSI line, that's it. All right, I might end there, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you in the next live stream. It's been good. If you've missed it, I'm gonna leave the live stream recording up on YouTube, and you can watch it there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be clipping it up, and within the next few hours, I should have the Bitcoin component out, and I should have scheduled the altcoin components of it so you can watch the clips. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Leave a like on the live stream before you dip out. That'd be appreciated. I appreciate that. Just so we can get the algorithm pumping a little bit. Join the Wolves of Crypto VIP. It's not a VIP anymore, actually. I've made the VIP free, so there's no more VIP, no more paywall. You can join what was previously the VIP group chat using the link in the description. Okay? Use the link in the description. Join that group chat. Lots of interesting conversations going to be flowing through there. If you're interested as well, as usual, sign up to the BitGet exchange using my referral link. If you're looking for an exchange to trade on, BitGet is the one for you. Use my referral link, gain access to a reward center, 5 times lower fees than Binance. If you're interested in learning how to trade, the Crypto Academy is great. Developed by myself and Mega Crypto. Go again to the description, click on the website. You can check it out there. But again, BitGet is the main way you can help the channel now that I don't have VIP. And you're helping yourself as well. It's like a positive. You help out the channel, you help out yourself. You're saving yourself 5 times the amount of money as you would use Binance. So, what's the question there? It's a no-brainer. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next one. Have a good night or day or morning, wherever you are. See you later, guys.